Welcome to Active Trader Setups Trading Setup Series, part of our Trading and Training Series Chart and Indicator Setups from Active Trader Setups Trading and Charting Package. This video is brought to you by Active Trader Setups Trading Package, a day trader setups company. This video is primarily designed for our clients to understand and recognize different characteristics of our indicator package to help them see a trade as it's developing. I like to take stocks that are in play and put them in a list like earnings or something like RTN that was involved in the UTX about a week ago. Buyout, merger news, and we had all this moving around. Then I like to watch those stocks for about 10 days. So I usually got about 30 stocks that I'm rolling forward, adding to and taking away, and then I have about 30 more that I primarily trade every day. You can't watch everything all the time, so the primary thing you want to do is get you a stock list that you get to know the characteristics of your stocks. If you're randomly trading stocks, you may run across a stock that's running 38-cent spread, and before you know it, you done jumped in it and it takes your face off. So get familiar with what you're trying to trade. RTN is not one of my normal traders. I've had on a list for about a week now. This morning, it gapped down a little bit and then ran down early. It didn't gap down much at all, actually. It just opened here at 9:32 and around that 177.50 area, and it sold off within about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and it bottomed out down here at around 175.44. Now, a whole lot of things was going on here. There's a instant reversal here. We've got the force came in really strong right on the bottom on the first reversal candle. The force alert or indicator maxed out immediately on the reversal bar. This is your blue diamond reversal. We don't put it on the chart because we know what the symbol, we know what the candle looks like. But you had this really nice strong run up here. 175, about 75.80 would have been your entry price, and it ran right up into our inflection points. These are daily inflection points on this chart. And yesterday's inflection point was a value of 177.35. The high of this bar was 177.40. So you almost know that that's going to be an issue when you're coming into it. That's a good exit plan. Now, you were clearing this short-term cloud. This is your resistance area. When you get in the cloud, sometimes it just explodes through it, but it slowed down right there. There's a great reason for that and gave a pullback. Now, what also happened at the exact same time, if you look at this chart up to the left here, this is our inflection point chart, just standard inflections. Yesterday's high, yesterday's low, today's low. The yellow arrows is yesterday's close. And the right blue arrow is today's open, and this blue one here is yesterday's open. So when we came up into that same area, 177.38 was yesterday's close. Well, 35 was our inflection point. Had nothing to do with yesterday's close, but they lined up. So you naturally can expect you got all kind of issues here, and that's why you got this pullback. How far did it pull back? 177.31, the low of this candle here, and I'm referring right over in this box on the right, the data box. The low on this candle is 176.69. The yellow dotted line right here represents the level of the current cloud out to the right side. We've got a flat yellow dotted line indicating this flat area. You've got your flat area that was here. It drops down, flat again. That's your exact shape here. That's why you know where you're at. It was right about here on this forming cloud out to the right. What's going on this cloud? The blue line is rising up, about to do the twist, which is bullish. Right here underneath our yellow dotted line is this blue dotted line that represents this blue line. It's crossing over, or it's about to cross over, so it's setting up for a bullish twist. That don't mean it has to go, but it is setting up, and the pullback on the low of this candle, 176.69. Our plot of this yellow dotted line is the span B line shown in the right hand area. It's right here. When I mouse over, look right there, span B line. The value is 176.69, and the low, if you look above, was 176.69. To the penny. Reversal off of this area. Now, if you want to wait on the reversal candle, you'd be here. If you want to take a stable entry on our candles, you would be here when you made that entry, and that would probably be the best thing. But you can take it lower. You are clearing the cloud as you come out of here. This is an anticipated trade. You're breaking through the open. You're breaking through yesterday's close up in this area. You're breaking through the cloud. You held where you're supposed to hold on the cloud, and you got another breakout for an additional, if you wait all the way to here, 177.40 to get in, you got another breakout to $180. That's $3.50. You don't have to trade big share size, just 100 shares, that's $350 profit. A lot of guys, they like to trade small stocks because I'm scared of the big stocks. They got too much spread. You got more liquidity and less spread on this stock than you do a lot of the $12 stocks that they're jerking the bids around on, and you're trying to get in and trade 500 and 1,000 shares. That 1,000 shares move 15 cents against you. Got a pretty big issue. A lot less exposure, in my opinion, here. My trading changed when I changed and started picking stocks that can pay me. Great setup here. Another thing as well, another telltale sign. We're going to go to this chart right here. This is one of my favorite trading charts, and I added this part at the bottom just as an educational tool. This is tracking what these red, yellow and blue lines are doing up here, right on this second breakout, which was right here at 11:16, same time frame. We had the two blue ones simultaneously alert, which means that this band turned up and this band turned down at the same time. If we can get the lower band to push away as we're moving up, we are accelerating. So we had acceleration in our sights by the time we got this second candle. That's right here. As we were breaking, we were getting the acceleration. Now, if you're limited on charts, you can take this chart, limited on space, screen space, you can take this chart and add that band on this chart. You don't need the part at the bottom. I added that for a teaching tool. So we had a lot of things setting up on this chart. We're breaking through the cloud. We got the twist. We got a flag pattern. We're at the close. And then we got acceleration right here. That's all you need. You got so much information there in your favor. And you've got the trend shift going on the green and red line also changed colors right here simultaneously with the blue ones. That's one of our old projection charting. We tell you where the line's going to turn from red to green, and if we get the simultaneous blue ones at the same time we get the crossover, that's generally a very strong breakout as well. That's stock number one, RTN. Next stock we're looking at is PXD. This stock made a great little bit of noise in the morning here. This is only 9:40. It's already gyrated here, settling down. This is yesterday's inflection point, again off our daily chart. And it's trying to get through this little cloud. This is a fast-paced cloud. You can see the blue is rising into the yellow. It just crossed actually, so we're right. This is where your right side cloud is at the time that this pullback took place, back into the cloud. This came back off of this inflection point from yesterday, 141.12, and we actually took this trade off of our chart trader on the reversal and actually tweeted it out on Twitter during the trade. You can see right where we came in at. I actually took it a little bit early. I didn't even wait on it to trigger. There's the chart, PXD. This was the candle into this cloud we're looking at. And when it got back above there, instead of waiting on my trigger price, which would have been on my bar trader, it sets it at 2 bars back, just above the top of that candle. We know what it takes to make a reversal bar with our ATS Algo Wick bar. And when it made the turn, it would have triggered us in right up here. I took the trade early, a little before that, because I could already see it building the momentum up there. And I actually tweeted that out on Twitter. We had a good run in AGN a couple times today too. I love to go get Maxwell on the phone when we can get in a good trade. This ended up being a great trade. It ran and ran and ran. I didn't take it all the way to the top. I scaled out up here, in between here actually. This was really building some strong momentum, and you can see the what was going on over here on your inflection chart. It did the same exact thing, ran into yesterday's close. It's like a twin of the other chart we just looked at. Gave a little pullback a little bit earlier in the day, and then gave this breakout, and it kept going. I got out of as it approached yesterday's high. I didn't stay in all the way to the top there. This was the open price, and then yesterday's high plotted right here, 168, 143.68. So that's right along in here. That's what I thought I remembered right in this area. And also up here you can see what was also going on. Here's your same white line. This is moving around here. What did we get? We got momentum break. And when we got that momentum break, it just accelerated. Harder this pushes down, the bigger that move's going to be up in the beginning of the breakup. That's PXD. This next chart is on AMGN. I didn't actually get this trade myself. I know some of our clients did because somebody emailed me about it. This particular pullback, now I swapped charts on you for a moment. I moved over to the intraday inflection points. These are plotted going back into the previous days as well, and they carry forward each day. They go back about 2 days, giving you information. All these orange lines are on this chart before the market ever opened. The white lines were created as the day went on. There were some other white lines down here in the morning. If I slide this chart back, you can see the beginning of the morning, which is this line. You see where the white lines were and the orange lines were there. And then as the day progressed, the white ones are going to move up because they are the most current plot. Now, you see these orange lines back here? These have been here, some of them, for 2 days. They go back about 48 hours. So as you came across, we're going to get back into today right here. The early morning, it held one of those orange lines. It went up, and then when it started selling off here, bounced right off that line again, right on your chart, 145.43. That low was 175.43. That low was 175.40. 3 cents below our inflection point, a little below the opening range low. Came in with, you can't really see the volume down below here, so faint compared to the early, but it was a 5-bar high volume as well when it made the second bar up off the bottom there. Ran all the way up. Just continued. Huge, nice bounce right here. And that was at 9:45. And this is where it ended up today. Now I'm going to move over to the day cloud. Look at here what we had. This is the dailies. So the lines again are worked just like the other chart, except for these are plotted off our daily inflection points. They go back, and the most recent, you need to watch the video on the ATS inflection points. These are plotted every day, and you can watch. We'll back up a little bit right here. This is the day, the plot that's forming for tomorrow. The blue line will turn into the bigger white line at the very end of the day. So there you are, the beginning of the next morning. All these lines are on this chart all day long. As we move forward, this is a different day. We're going to come into the next day. Here's back on today. Now see, this line moved itself here. This line moved itself here. We do the most recent 3 days are the white lines, and then all the orange ones are beyond 3 days. So this morning, this was 2 days ago, right here. This was yesterday, and the 3 day ago is gone out of my vision. I don't even see it. That's a solid white line. Oh, it's right here. I just couldn't see it. It's right in my face. This broke up, did that sell-off that we looked at a minute ago. I think I'm on the wrong day. No, that's today. Okay, end of the day. This is 3 days ago. So right here, this is 2 days ago inflection point we got on our chart, plotted for you as the market opens. And then during the sell-off, during the day, this was the inflection point. And this was where the guys had picked it up on the pullback. Right into this area. That was also the orange line on this chart. And when it bounced, the low down here, we were at 175.55. The low was a little below that at 40. And then they got this big run up, went all the way up right through the cloud, didn't it? You can see all these candles have no wicks on the bottom. Generally, they won't go back and retest that area. Right here, what do you got? You got resistance. So what do you get? You get consolidation. And that's why you ended up getting a big wick out the bottom of this candle, because it started here at 177 and went all the way down to a low of 176.56. So it made about a 45-cent gyration here as it worked its way through this consolidation area. And then it broke again and continued on up. This candle closed at 9.56. This candle closed at 10.03. So this was at 10.04. So all this happened pretty rapidly. If you were trailing with a 2-bar trail, which is what we know takes to reverse, is taking the low of this candle out, it never would have stopped you out. If you had a tighter trail or you exited into this line, you got this gyration here in a couple of minutes, you could have went right back in. When this pulled back, you can set your bar chart trader to a long trail. It'll put you in order right up here. When it comes back up here, to put you back in the trade. Great big nice run off inflection point from 9:44 to 11 o'clock. So an hour and 15 minutes, this stock would have put you in right about here, about 175.80, and takes you all the way up to 178.25 area before you would have stopped out right in here. Another great setup off our inflection points, using our ATS all-week bars to manage your trade. I'm going to do two very quick ones here. I'm trying to keep these videos right around 20 minutes every day. This was AGN. I actually took this trade right here on the reversal. Excuse me. One of the reasons it was a double bottom for the day. It didn't quite make a new low as them pennies. But when you got this first bounce, I've been trading this stock for about 3 days as it's sold off back here in the history. This has been a big, great short stock for days. Anyway, this morning, it bounced initially, went right into yesterday's low and rejected old support, new resistance. It does that regularly, stocks do. And it went back down and was double bottoming here. And on this first little bounce, it was kind of gave a little strength here. So I watched it. It got a volume reversal. And when it got here, I said, if this flips back up and it goes green on the force, this could make a nice run up to here. And that's what I was looking for. But I got in it, and it got really strong and was able to get through yesterday's close without much problem, which was right around where our inflection point on the daily was. And it went through there well, and it had momentum. It cleared the cloud, so I just kept my stop back here behind the candles. All I had to do was run a current bar trail. It never reversed. It never put a wick in. So I kept it on a current bar trail as it broke up in through here, because I was kind of expecting a pullback, and I didn't get stopped out, and it just kept going all the way up, and then I got stopped out right here. So that was 116.87 was about where my stop was, and I came in down here at 114.89. That's a $2 run. I traded it again, and when it pulled back, because of the way the cloud was looking here, I was looking for a possible really big move. So I got back in. I got about a 60-cent scalp. I didn't short it. I traded it again when it reversed here, and it got real choppy in there, and I stopped out, and I didn't get back in it after that. But it held this line on this pullback. I got in really low went to the smaller brick bar to get in. The low right here on this pullback was 97 cents. The line is 92. Missed it by a nickel. So I had a real tight stop, but I didn't make much money. I got stopped out right there. This was the trade, and I thought this could have been a huge another run. Last stock we're going to look at is Apple. I don't trade Apple and Facebook a lot because they like to get like this. They get it very choppy once they do what they want to do with it. So you want to trade it early, and you want to catch that momentum. And Facebook had a huge run today, but it was real choppy. I looked at it early and then left it alone. Apple, this is a gap down, just as a good chance to teach this. We don't show gaps. We plot all the candles. We do the daybreak and plot all the candles, because this price movement is what creates our clouds. We want to know about it all. So we plot it all. So when you see a big like this, you got to look at the time on our charts. This is 9:30 a.m. So this was actually a gap down on that day. That's just a chance to show that. I had traded this here last week. It was a nice little setup right in here. Consolidation, gave a flag, gave a nice break. So it was a similar setup today. Had also traded this trade on Apple as it broke this cloud and pulled back and got that little trade there. I did not get off the bottom the other day. Now today it opened, consolidated around. We already had a bullish cloud underneath us, and we're holding the cloud. This is our flat spot on our cloud at the time. That's this yellow dotted line. We went down and held the top of the current physical cloud. It's out here bullish. It's over here. Get back through, and I picked up Apple. I waited till it got out of this. You see, when the first reversal candle came in, it didn't stay flat on the bottom, so that means it pulled back and gyrated here. And we can set our auto. It's a semi-auto bar trader. We can take this bar. I'll pull this down a little bit. We can take this bar and we can turn these on to take a trade. We can pick the kind of stop we want to use, and that's another video in itself. But if we do a long trail on this bar, it's going to take us long about 6 cents above the top of this bar. So it would have been right there, and then it's going to pull back. We can do something called a stable long. If I go to stable long and turn this on, that's why we call it semi-automatic. It's going to read these bars and put you in the trade at the right time. And if you're not trading through NinjaTrader, you can still use this to actually set up your trade. It'll give you the price on the chart of this trade, and if you go stable, it's going to be about 13 cents higher. But I went to stable long. Once I get this wick in there, by going to stable long, I'm telling my trader, I don't want to go in here on the next bar. I want to go in after a bar closes with no wick on the open of the next bar. So we have that programmed in here. The long trail takes you in here. The stable takes you in after. If this has no wick, it'll take you in right here. But if this develops a wick, even if it's 1 cent, it will not take you into the close of a bar with no wick out the bottom. So it would actually take you in right here on a stable long. You use that when you got these gyrations, all of these wicks, or set up a situation like this where you got consolidation. That's all we got today. Thanks for watching our video. Stay tuned for these trading and training videos on a regular basis through the week. Again, this is the trading and training series where we look at our chart and indicator setups, active trader setups, trading package at Day Trader Setups Company, home of the ATS Bar Chart Trader, ATS Inflection Points. We also have futures, VPOC scanners, and VPOC charts. Thanks for watching our video. Plan to watch these videos on a regular basis and subscribe to our channel while you're here, and you'll be notified every time we put out a new video. Thanks again.